Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 9 o'clock ceremony here at Veterans Park. With me, I have Robert Maslow, who's our Grand Marshal, and some of our vets here today. At this time, we're going to ask Troop 20, I believe it is, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. Are you ready for the At this time, we'll have the lowering of the colors. I'd like to thank the members of the American Legion here for helping out today for all the service ceremonies. I also want to bring Robert Maslow up, our Grand Marshal this year, longtime Piscataway resident off Wood Lake Drive. Wood Lake Drive. He was there when it was originally built. How about that? So, but come on up, Robert. Why don't you say a few words?
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. One of the things that I want to say is that, yes, I have been here about 35 years, and the first two people to visit me at Wood Lake was Brian and Bob. And I think they wanted me to use my Hudson County influence to make sure I stayed with the Democratic Party over there. So, but anyway, that's beside the point. Two other gentlemen came to visit me about a week after that, and they made me probably very influential in the town with the Veterans Association, and that was Mr. Frank Lagarina and Mr. Mike Zach. And both of those two gentlemen got me involved with the Legion. I've been very active with the Legion as an adjutant, as a, I guess you would call it the secretary, the service officer, and also with the color guard. And I've been carrying that flag for all those years. And today I'm going to be able to ride in the back of a car and watch somebody else do the hard work. I just want to say one thing about today. I want to use the words, never forget. And I especially want the kids to hear this because never forget is significant about Memorial Day. It's not only significant about Memorial Day, but we never forget December 7th, Pearl Harbor, and we'll never forget 9/11. We know all about that. But today is not just the official start of the Jersey Shore summer season. It isn't just a bank holiday. It's not just a holiday for state or government employees or a school holiday. It is not a day designated for car sales, store sales, mall visits, shopping, whatever. Today is Memorial Day. Never forget. Memorial Day was created for Americans to honor those in the military service who have given of their service to us, and for those who paid the ultimate price for our freedom. It is to be a solemn day, a day when all flags should be at half-mast, a day when government building displays black and purple bunting on its walls, a day when bells are pealed and taps are sounded. It is a day for parades, but it's not a day for carnivals. It is a day when all car headlights should be on in tribute to these dead soldiers and men and women. It is a day for families to gather and to discuss the significance of this holiday with their siblings and their children. It is a day to pause, to reflect, to pray, and to honor those who gave us their service and those who gave the ultimate sacrifice to protect our freedoms. That is what Memorial Day is. Please never forget, and my best wishes for a day of memories and reflection. Thank you.
Thank you, Grand Marshal Maslow. Before I introduce the next two individuals to come up and say a couple brief words, I would like to highlight what Bob Maslow just mentioned, but more importantly, I think what's really going on with the veterans in this country is a question about their health care issue with the Veterans Administration and taking care of the 500,000 or so soldiers who qualify for health care and making sure that they get that taken care of. And I think one of the big problems in hearing about some of the backlog with the cases that are going on with our vets, they need to get that rectified as quickly as possible. And we need Washington to start working on behalf of the vets because they didn't have to worry about bureaucratic tape when they signed up to serve this great country of ours. So with that, I want to bring up our State Senator Robert Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a pleasure being, I think, at about the 30-something VFW ceremony on Memorial Day. And what I try to do at these events is to capture what I think is the best thought of the day. So I scan the newspapers to check out the editorials or the letters to the editor to see what I think best expresses the sentiment that we should observe. In today's home news, I think they had the best view, and their editorial is entitled, "A Day to Honor Brave Warriors." In the midst of Memorial Day celebrations, with their parades, picnics, and family outings, and amid the sounds of children laughing in backyard pools, and the buzzers and whistles of boardwalk games, we also should hear the plaintive bugle calling taps. The unofficial beginning of summer is also a commemoration of the lives cut short in battle, a time to remember the men and women who laid down their lives to enable us to enjoy the freedoms for which they fought. Throughout history, people have sought to honor the war dead. Today, in ceremonies everywhere, snatches of poems are recited. In Flanders Field, the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row that mark our place. Soaring oratory from battlefields past is heard again, notably Lincoln's words from a bloody Gettysburg field, quote, "It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave their last measure of full devotion, that we are here highly resolved that these dead shall not have died in vain." And many of us will look more closely at those monuments in the towns that name the names of those fallen soldiers from that town, and we know that they did not die in vain. And many of us will look more closely Memorial Day reminds us as well that the sacrifices of the brave have not ended. Young men and women are dying still, far from home in Afghanistan. Heroes all, we say, and indeed they were, as is any man or woman who lays down his life for his country and for his comrade in arms. One doubts, however, whether most of them would have thought of themselves as heroes. Instead, they likely saw themselves as ordinary men and women who had a job to do, defending the nation and looking out for the soldier nearby. We always send the best of us into the hell of war, the young and the brave. And young people are asked to endure that man-made hell of war on behalf of those on the home front. Soldiers go in our place, and we owe the ones who went all of our gratitude. No one longs for peace more than a soldier, because he has seen the ugliness of war, the brutality of it. But not everyone has the courage or the will to take up arms for his or her country. We are thankful that throughout America's history, there have been more than enough brave warriors to make us free and keep us safe. There are no sunshine patriots slinking away when the way got hard and the battle got rough. They stayed the course. They did their duty. They gave their lives. The war dead we honor today, from the distant past to the all too recent yesterdays, were true patriots, the ones who fought hard and well, who held the line and kept us free. Today, we enjoy the freedom they won on our behalf, and remember as well what it cost them. I thought that was right on target, which is why I wanted to share with all of you. And one other thing I wanted to do today, you may remember, if you are an annual participant, that 2 years ago, the mayor and council of Piscataway Township contacted their state senator and said, you know, we have affordable housing in Piscataway. In New Jersey, we have a not only statutory law, but case law that says that there should be low and moderate income housing available to the citizens of our state. But the mayor and council said there is no way we can give a preference to a veteran. The law doesn't provide for it. So they asked us to undertake the job of changing the law so that veterans returning from Iraq or Afghanistan, and who generally, because when you go to war, it's not just your personal sacrifice, it's also a financial sacrifice. When they come back, they're looking for new jobs, they have modest economic means, and it would be a great thing if they had available to them low and moderate income housing. So we've worked for the past 2 years, and I'm happy to report to you that in February, the law of the state of New Jersey has changed, which allows towns to give preference to veterans for up to 50% of the affordable housing that's built in their town. And I'm also proud to report and congratulate the mayor and council for adopting such a program in Piscataway. And now when new Mount Laurel housing is built in Piscataway, veterans can, up to 50% of the housing can be allotted to veterans, whether they're Iraq and Afghanistan soldiers, but even any veteran, so that we try in some way to give back something to our vets, help them to reintegrate into society, and I think it's a good thing. So Mayor and Council, I congratulate you for your good work, and it's a pleasure to be here with everybody remembering our vets. Have a great day.
At this time, I'd like to have our county sheriff, Middlesex County Sheriff Millie Scott, come up and say a few words.
Happy Memorial Day. But I'd like to bring a young man up here to stand beside me. And I think since he's been in a carriage, he's been coming here. Mikey, would you come up for a minute, please? Mikey lives across the street, but every Memorial Day he's been here. And that reminds me of a story I read this morning, an article in the newspaper. And it was from a middle school student who said, what does Memorial Day mean to me? Memorial Day means to me heroes. He said, because I have 2 heroes in my family, my mom and my dad. They both went off to service. So they're heroes to me because they went there to protect our country, but also we miss them so much. So they sacrificed so much for us. And so when we talk about our young, we wonder what they think about Memorial Day. And that was very uplifting to read that. So Mikey, I want to say thank you for every year coming here and to recognize Memorial Day. Today is also a National Memorial Day recognition. At 3 o'clock today, I'm asking everyone to stop whatever they may be doing. Whatever they may be doing, whether it's shopping, having a barbecue, or a picnic, to participate in the silence of a moment. The silence of a moment means that whatever you're doing, you stop. Because, you know, when we say to our children that Memorial Day recognizes our men and women that get sacrificed ultimate to make sure our country stays safe. But we know when we see Mikey at a picnic, and all he knows is a picnic, but Mikey knows more than a picnic. So I say, Mikey, thank you for recognizing Memorial Day. And would you like to say something?
Yeah. Thank you, Mom, for bringing me to Memorial Day every year.
Happy Memorial Day.
Thank you, County Sheriff Scott, and thank you, Mikey, for coming out. Just remember, it's not about the parade today. It's about the men and women standing behind me. With that, we'll see you all over at the American Legion at 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Leading off the parade, we have Piscataway High School Air Force JROTC Color Guard and Drill Team. Next up, we have this year's Grand Marshal, Robert E. Baslow. Followed by the 101st Airborne Association Marchers. Followed by a Jeep. Next up, we have the trailer with the banner. Next up, we have the Piscataway BPO Elks Lodge 2414. County Sheriff Millie Scott. Piscataway Mayor Brian Waller and the Township Council, Michelle Lombardi, Jim Bullard, Mark Gardenberg, Michael Griffith, Steve Kahn, and Gabrielle Cahill, County Freeholder Kim Armwood. Followed by Police Chief Rick Ivone. Next up, we have Piscataway Police Youth Week. Next up, we have the Piscataway Township Board of Education, President Thomas Mosier, Vice President Tom Connors, also Margaret King, Mark R. Okamoto, Robert Opitz, and Ira Stern. Also the students, Allison Mosier, Austin Mosier, Bobby Opitz, and Evan Okamoto. Next up is Piscataway Township Emergency Management, Coordinator Paul Schneider. Next up, Piscataway Township Office on Aging. By the Piscataway Township Farm on Aging bus. we got the Pride of Piscataway Super Chief Marching Band, Color Guard, Director Chris Sumner. Helping them is the Super Chief Band Parent Association. Following the Super Chief bus, we have the American Legion Post 261 baseball team. Coaches Art Chippendale, Jim Cedar, Mike Kinney, and Mike Montanet. As followed by the American Legion sophomore baseball team, coaches Art Newman, Ken Paulson, and Bob Mary. Next up, we have the Girl Scouts of the Delaware Raritan Council. Coordinator Gail Ogden is going to take over the mic for the announcement for now.
Okay, so our SAT banner, I have Taylor Casket and Julie Walker carrying it. It's a group that consists of all different levels of Girl Scouting. The color guard, the holder is Rebecca Marcinko. Carrying the WAG flag is Alexa Brownie flag, Tiana Praga, and the Girl Scout flag, Diana Picture. This is Troop 80312, Daisy Troop. Leaders are Jen Borders and Gina Hamilton. Here's our youngest, the Daisy Troop. 80315. They're brand new. This is their first parade. Here's our Brownie Troop 81747. Leader is Amanda Paxton. This is Brownie Troop 80877. Amy Westerberg is our leader. And Valerie Robinson is her co. Troop 82071. Leader is Melissa Lowry. This is Brownie Troop 80314. Teresa Sterning's the leader, but she gets a lot of help from Sabrina Bro. Another Brownie Troop 80326. And Peggy Dahl is the leader. This is a multi-level troop. It consists of Brownies, Juniors, and Cadets, and it's 83108. Leader is Jessica Walker. This is another multi-level troop. There's Brownies and Juniors within this troop. There is 83279. This is troop number, and Andrea Haskins is the leader. Another multi-level troop. This is 80360. Dixie Dowdy is the leader. This troop consists of Brownies, Juniors, and Cadets. This is Troop 83931. They're juniors. Kara Seeger is the leader. This is Troop 80884. It's another junior troop. Juniors 1 and 2. Dawn Todd is the leader. This is Troop 80849. Another junior troop. And Deborah Best is the leader. This is Troop 81442. And they're another junior troop. Karen Sabo is the leader. This is Troop 80316. It's another multi-level troop. They have Brownies, Juniors, and Cadets within this troop, and Lydia Richardson is the leader. This is Cadet Troop 80567. And Maria Percival is the leader. She's our cookie manager for Piscataway. A lot of work. This is Troop 81548. It's a cadet troop. Now these leaders are our service unit directors. Sorry about that. And their names are Lori Slackey and Gail Rivers. Oh, and there's Sandy Kelly. And this, our last troop, is 80563. Brenda Rogue is the leader. She does registration for Girl Scouts for Piscataway, so remember her. And thank you. Have a great day.
Cub Scouts. Troop number 67. My Boy Scout Troop 67 as well. My Boy Scout Troop 106. By Pack 20, Patriots Pass Council. Next up, we have the Living Hope Outreach Center.
Everybody go left, right. Remember, we do this for Jesus today. Everybody go
up is North Stoughton Fire Company, Chief Edward McDermott. Next up is North Stoughton Fire being accompanied by the North Stoughton Rescue Squad. Next up, we have Possumtown Fire Company, Chief Paul Schneider, and Assistant Chief Jim Mosey. Next up is River Road Fire Company, Chief Glenn Harding. Followed by the River Road Rescue Squad. Last but certainly not least, the Arbor House Rescue Squad and Fire Department. Chief Tony Fritz, Deputy Chief Joe Decker. opposed, sorry. Next up is the Arbor Rescue Squad. That's going to conclude the 2013 Memorial Day Parade.